And welcome candidates, those in attendance, and those viewing online. As a courtesy to all present, please silence your cell phones. This is the North Liberty City Council Candidates Forum. All candidates have been invited to participate in this forum. I'm Pat Hayden, member of the League of Women Voters of Johnson County, and I will be the moderator for this evening's forum. The League of Women Voters is a volunteer, nonpartisan organization that neither supports nor opposes any party or candidate, which is why we have the policy that campaign literature is welcome outside of this room following the forum, and no buttons, signs, or literature can be worn or distributed inside of this room. We ask that no questions or outbursts come directly from the audience. The League supports the free and open exchange of ideas through civil discourse. Please hold any applause until the end of the forum. The League does take positions after considerable study of issues and acts to influence decision makers on those issues. We work to not only register voters, but also to provide them with information on issues to assist their participation in government. Membership is open to anyone 16 years of age and older. Join us. We can use your time, your talent, and your financial resources. League members advocate and inform voters. Democracy works best when more people are involved. Membership forms are available at our welcome table near the entrance, or find us at www.lwvjc.org. The views expressed in this forum are those of the candidates, and all viable candidates have been invited to participate. After candidates have been introduced, they will each have 2 minutes for opening regards. We will then present questions to them, starting with one from the League, followed by one submitted on cards by you in the audience. League members are distributing cards and pencils for you to write questions on. You may submit as many written questions for the candidates as you wish. Hold up the cards and a League member will collect them throughout the forum and bring them to me to read. Questions that fall in the same general category may be consolidated. If time does not allow for all questions to be addressed, you may contact the candidates directly after the forum or at another time. Each question will be asked of all candidates. Each candidate will have 1 minute to respond to each question. Due to the time frame, there will not be time for rebuttals. Near the end of the scheduled time for this event, each candidate will have 2 minutes for closing remarks. Speaking order will be rotated throughout the evening. League member Justin Whitty will serve as a timekeeper and use cards to alert candidates when time is about up and when it is up. When alerted your time is up, you may finish your sentence, and we will then move on. Now, to the candidates. There are 4 candidates for the 3 city council seats. They are Brian Leibold, Mike Bonza, Paul Park, and Brent Smith. So let's get started with your 2-minute opening statements. Please speak loudly so audience members can hear you. And we will begin with Brian Leibold.
Good evening. My name is Brian Leibold, and I'd like to start by saying thank you for the opportunity to get to know me a little bit. And thank you as well to the League of Women Voters for providing this forum. My wife Tiffany and I have been married for 18 years. We chose North Liberty for both our first home and our forever home, and we've lived here for about 12. The sense of community we feel is really one of the driving forces that has fueled my belief and reaffirmed my confidence that my skills, abilities, and approach will contribute to the winning team and continued success of North Liberty. One of the other reasons is a passion, energy, and focus to further demonstrate to my kids that leadership and serving are priorities for our family, that who we help, how we go about it, and the lasting impression we leave on others remain impactful ways to become the best version of ourselves. I believe that we have a responsibility to give back and share our time and talents with others, and I'm very proud of the contributions that we've been able to make in North Liberty. My only goal is to strengthen and accelerate those contributions and prioritize North Liberty as a welcoming community to live, work, do business, and play. This community is one we can all be proud of. And for residents, businesses, and guests to continue this feeling, they need to feel confident that our community leaders and their interests remain at the heart of our leaders, that they are listened to and represented well. Throughout my life, and especially in my professional role as the Director of Business Development, a growth mindset is something I always strive to display. My commitment to you is demonstrating dedication, hard work, good strategies, and input from others to guide the vision and execution of our collective goals. Individuals, families, and businesses can develop and fulfill this vision with the confidence there's a path to achieving them here in North Liberty. Together we can accomplish this with good intentions and values, an approach that makes sense, and remaining focused on staying connected to what matters. I'd like to ask for your vote on or before November 7th and look forward to learning more on what's important to you. Thank you.
Thank you. Mike Banza, your opening statement?
Thank you. Well, good evening. Thank you, everybody, and thanks to the League of Women Voters and to the city for this forum. My name is Mike Banza. I am a husband and the father of 4 children. I have lived here for about 10 years. I work as a lawyer and a nonprofit executive. In most recent years, we've seen mostly positive changes in our city. For the first time in the city history, we hired an African-American outreach and equity coordinator. June has been proclaimed as the Pride Month. The plan for the second fire station has been conceptualized. Many nonprofit organizations have received funding from the city. Our police department obtained new virtual reality system for training officers in de-escalation tactics. I want to join that group because we are doing well. I want to be part of the success of our city. We love this place. I want to maintain the tradition that we have in our city. More importantly, I'm running to help us prepare for the demands of tomorrow. Our children and our grandchildren should be able to remember that their parents and grandparents fought so hard through the storm, rain, snow, and nasty winter to preserve the promise passed on from generations to generations that all men are created equal and all are free and all deserve a chance to pursue the full measure of their happiness and joy. That's why I'm running for this office. Thank you.
Thank you. Paul Park.
Thank you to the League of Women Voters for hosting this forum, and thank you to all our guests for joining us. My name is Paul Park, and I've been a resident of North Liberty since 2018. My lovely fiance, Emily Hesseltine, and 2 children, Hayden and Mason, have lived in North Liberty for 15 years. I believe those that know me would describe me as honest, hardworking, trustworthy, love people, and love my community. I hope by the end of this forum, you'll feel the same way. There is no place we would rather live than North Liberty. Our community is safe. We have great schools, great restaurants, and locally owned businesses. Our people are friendly and caring. We are truly blessed to call North Liberty home. North Liberty is growing rapidly. I want to continue our path forward in a way that encourages growth, but with careful planning. As we grow, we need to consider the old parts of the city as well as the new. My background is in real estate. I've been a realtor for 9 years and love being able to help people achieve the American dream. Unfortunately, that dream is becoming harder and harder to attain. With rising interest rates, increasing construction costs, and predatory investing practices, housing is becoming more and more unaffordable. Solutions to these issues won't be solved overnight, but working together with the bright minds of our local affordable housing nonprofits and my relationships at the state capitol, established through my service and leadership roles with the Iowa City and Iowa Association of Realtors, I believe we can make effective change on this issue and much more. I appreciate the opportunity to be here, and I look forward to sharing more with you about my vision for North Liberty. Thank you.
Thank you. Brent Smith.
I want to thank the Johnson County League of Women Voters for putting on tonight's debate. And I want to highlight our moderator, Pat Hyden, for just a moment. Those of you who know me know that I do my research before I come into this chamber. As many of us know, Pat Hyden was Executive Director of Oak Knoll in Iowa City before serving as supervisor on the Johnson County Board of Supervisors. So she knows from experience what we as candidates have done to prep for tonight and the nerves that come along with the debate. As she left the Board of Supervisors, she was showered with praise from many of our top leadership in the county, and here she is tonight. volunteering her time, assuring our candidates for North Liberty City Council are vetted and held accountable prior to our election. So Pat, thank you for your service.
Thank you.
For those that are just meeting me tonight, my name is Brent Smith, and I am one of your current city councilors and the only incumbent running for re-election. I have served on North Liberty City Council for 5 years now. My first year was backfilling a vacancy after running in a special election, and then I ran and was elected to a full 4-year term. I've enjoyed serving our community as your city councilor these past 5 years and have more yet to do in the next 4. I would ask that you listen tonight, and as you listen, you pull out your phones and look me up on Facebook at bsmith4NL and read more about me. I've lived in North Liberty for 20 years with my wife Amanda, who is here supporting me tonight. We have a 15-year-old son named Carter, a sophomore at Liberty High School. I graduated from the University of Northern Iowa with a BA degree in communications. I'm a fireman by trade and have been in the Iowa Fire Service for 25 years now. I started as a volunteer fireman and just celebrated my 20th year as a career firefighter on the Cedar Rapids Fire Department, where I currently serve as the Assistant Fire Chief. You will learn more about me and my leadership experience tonight, so thank you all for being here and being engaged in the process of electing your local city council.
Thank you. Thank you all for your opening statements. Now we will proceed to the questions with the first question from the League of Women Voters. North Liberty is a rapidly growing city. What challenges does this present, and what would you do as a council member to address these challenges? And we will begin with Mr. Banza.
Thank you for the question. Our city is rapidly growing. We're becoming more diverse than we ever before. Our hope for the city is to be able to accommodate everybody so that this place becomes a place for everyone, where everyone can feel welcome and call it home. That begins with ensuring that we are inclusive in our services, in our communities, in our institutions. That also follows the fact that we want to be able to accommodate more roads, widen the roads now that we have a new hospital coming up. We can predict high traffic, which may lead to more traffic jams. The challenges we're going to face is how do we handle that situation to avoid traffic jams, to allow people to get to work on time. And I want to be able to work with the city to widen the roads. The tax rate, property tax rate is going up.
Thank you, Mr. Banza. Mr. Park.
North Liberty is becoming more and more popular, and rightfully so. We have been growing rapidly, and there's still room for growth. I'm grateful to our past counselors and leaders as they have been working hard on infrastructure over the years in response to and in preparation of more growth. As we continue to develop, I want to make sure that we do so with a careful plan. Our top priority being the safety of our neighborhoods, affordability, traffic concerns, and great parks and amenities. We need to be able to attract community-minded builders that take care of these things as well as want our city to be beautiful.
Thank you. Mr. Smith.
I've been a part of this growth for the last 5 years, and it is very challenging. Sometimes the city is called upon, like Paul said, to build the infrastructure. A lot of that infrastructure can be underground. There can be millions of dollars put underground, and folks wonder, well, what is the city really doing to help us in this growth? That is the foundation that needs to be built. We do things right here in North Liberty. We build the infrastructure first, then we go out to development and we ask development to come in. We don't do it backwards. We don't do it vice versa. So we set those things in place to make the businesses and the developers successful when they come here. Embracing the work to build and to build a strong strategic plan and master plan is very important. Having strong public safety and all the things that we enjoy, which are our parks and trails.
Thank you. Mr. Leibold.
Yeah, I agree with a lot of what's set up here. Public safety and infrastructure are very important to maintain the growth that we've experienced. But I want to go back up a little bit on the Connected to Tomorrow kind of comprehensive plan, as well as the connected to what matters approach. If we remain focused on their intent and have a willingness and ability to listen to what is changing throughout our community, both from an economic conditions or from our community itself, we'll be able to pivot and adjust to that comprehensive plan and that connected to what matters approach. And then just, quite frankly, leverage the skill set that I'd be able to bring to fill the gap between what the vision is and how we can go about executing on it.
Thank you. All right, now we'll go to questions from the audience. The first is, what are the 3 greatest strengths of North Liberty? And we will begin with Mr. Park.
3 greatest strengths. I believe our greatest strength is our people. I have been around this community. This community has been very good to me. I believe our people are friendly and generous, and that would be, the volunteerism that happens in this community, I think is one of our biggest strengths. I also believe the way we have grown has done so in a way that's aesthetically pleasing. They, keep an eye on, having parks and making sure, walking trails, making sure that, our community members are able to have fun and be healthy. And 3 would be our city services, our city staff. Our fire chief, our police chief. I mean, you can just go down the line. And I believe our strength, again, is our people. And we're very lucky to have the staff in North Liberty that we do.
Mr. Smith.
I think one of our strengths is having that small town feel. We're growing, we're rapidly growing, but we still have that small town feel. And that's, we're large enough to serve, but small enough to care. That feeling that we have here in the community is very important. We're close to, majority or major city hubs, a Big Ten university. That's what kind of draws people. And those things are nice to have. Our parks and trail system are really some of the best in the state. It's so nice to be able to walk out your back door and hit a trail and really be able to get anywhere on a bike or take the kids out around town. And again, I think a commonality you're hearing from us up here is our public safety. The women and the men in our fire and police departments do a fantastic job. I've seen the job that they do firsthand and the things that they work hard to keep us safe and keep that small town feel. So,
Thank you.
thank you.
Mr. Leibold.
Yeah, thank you. I think the 3 greatest strengths in North Liberty are in no particular order, is 1, the sense of community that we all experience here. And that starts really from the top down. We've got a strong leadership team in place. They have, and the city staff, they set the vision, they're able to execute on it, and they adjust when needed, but they do so with heart. They do so with efficiency and effectiveness. And then as we grow, that leadership team makes themselves available to listen to the community and set the new direction that we need. We have a saying at work, at True North where I work, that connection generates power. And one of the things that all 3 of these strengths kind of contribute to is that they all lead to that connection. And as a result, North Liberty has been successful and will continue to be successful.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Banza.
Thank you. I believe that our first strength is the government. Our government is doing a great job at this point. They were able to listen when we brought issues to them, and I am proud of Mr. Hoffman and the entire team for what they were able to accomplish for the past years. And it's a great leadership that they have demonstrated. Also, our second strength is the people. We are a community that speak up. We are a community that talks about what's bothering us. We are the people that make the city great. And our ability to work together as one people is really our strength. The city has initiated a great neighborhood initiative, and I have assisted in as an ambassador for the program, where we have worked together with the communities to come up with great resolutions. And the last one is the tradition. We enjoy the tradition of our city. We have the blues and barbecues that keep us connected. We go out and play with our children in our parks, and we enjoy the family friendliness of our city. And that's really what I value about the city.
Thank you. Next question. What do you believe is the role of the City Council in our community? And we will begin with Mr. Smith.
Well, there's many things that the council has a role in. You know, the majority of what we do is planning and zoning, working with development, approving, getting recommendations from our Planning and Zoning Commission on what the future of our city looks like. Everything from where houses should go versus businesses, what types of housing we should have. But then it's policy and procedure, making sure as a city councilor we have oversight with staff to assure that we are being equitable in our policies and the way that we perform our business. You know, this is a nonpartisan seat, and it really should be used as such. We serve people with the basic needs, the streets and housing, public safety, and you know, are not part of any political agenda, which is great. All the streets need plowed when it snows. We need our fire department to put out fires, and none of the rest of the political stuff that we see on TV really matters when we're in chambers here.
Thank you, Mr. Smith.
Thank you. Thank you.
Mr. Leibold.
Yeah, the role of city council in our community, I think, is pretty straightforward. It's to represent the interests of our citizens, of our business, and the guests that visit. You know, to act as a destination where individuals, families, businesses want to continue to live, work, play, and more importantly than that is to listen to what their interests are, to develop good strategies. And help fulfill the vision that they see in their role, in their world. You know, without those abilities, we can't continue to grow as strategically as we would like. So I really just think it's representing the interests of our citizens and being able to listen, make yourself available and accessible to fulfill the vision that they have for their life.
Mr. Panza.
Thank you. I believe there's no government without the people, and the city council has a role of listening to the people, and only by listening will they be able to provide the result and govern the people. If you don't listen to the people, there's no way you're gonna know what they are going through. Our job here is to listen and brainstorm, then produce results. And one of the things that make me qualify for this role is that when I came in here, I listened to the people. I saw the struggle that low-income families were going through. And I brainstormed a way to fix that problem, and I founded a nonprofit organization that's been producing results and helping low-income families for the past 10 years. Today, we're serving more people, more broadly, all in 4 corners of the states of Iowa. That makes me the person that I would provide leadership to the people of North Liberty.
Mr. Park.
Thank you. I believe like my colleagues here, the first role of the city council is to listen to the needs of the people. You know, they are who our city is, and we need to, elevate the voices of everyone in the community and address, the issues that we hear. I also believe, it's important for city council to create an environment that will attract the best talent to our city staff. We do have some great talent now, and I believe, in order to continue that, it's good that, to have a council that cares and can make that environment, good for people to want to work with. And also, just make sure that our staff is taking care of the needs that we get from the people, and continuing to do what we've done so far. Thank you.
Thank you. Next question. What is the first issue you will address if you are elected? And we will begin with Mr. Leibold.
1 second, just make sure I got the question. I think one of the more, one of the top issues facing North Liberty is really the fiscal constraints and decreased revenues that local government is likely to face. We're very fortunate that North Liberty has dedicated and effective leadership and city staff. I would prioritize leaning into this team and maintaining or enhancing those relationships to limit the challenges that are heading our way. I have and will continue to meet with business leaders, with community members to understand their priorities, what their pain points are, and what current or projected needs that they are experiencing as a result of some of these fiscal constraints that are headed our way. I think one of the ways to solve that is to create value through innovative solutions. What opportunities move the needle with the smallest amount of impact to the residents and business leaders of North Liberty.
Thank you. Mr. Banza.
Thank you. I don't think that as a resident, we should be spending more than 5% of our income on property taxes. In a recent year, we've seen an increase on our tax bill, and sometimes we have no control over the assessed value of our property. But as a city, we do have the right to provide subsidies to our residents. I think our city is able to apply for grants and provide subsidies to people that are spending more than 5% of their income on property taxes. And also, not to forget the fact that transportation is a big issue. In a city, our residents are struggling to move from point A to point B, which makes it difficult. If we have a free public transportation, it will allow our residents to move from their homes to businesses, which will add or increase the clientele for our businesses. And also, that's a positive contribution to our workforce, and it will solve the transportation issue in our city. And I think those two issues are very important, and it's not exhaustive, but I think we can focus on those two that can really serve us better. Thank you.
Mr. Park.
The first issue I'd like to work on is affordable housing, and I know that's a big and complicated issue. However, with rising interest rates and the increased cost of construction and everything for that matter, it's becoming even more challenging. We had our Gulfview home park purchased by an out-of-state investor who came in and more than doubled their lot rent. And it caused tremendous hardship. I've been utilizing my relationships kind of already at the State House with realtors associations statewide and local developers, and want to collaborate more with local nonprofits. And I feel like we need to be bold and come up with some really new creative ideas. But this is, an issue that's near and dear to me. And, I know a lot of city governments have been working on that for a long time. But I really do feel like, that is something that I just want to go right in and really start to work hard on.
Thank you. Mr. Smith?
Well, I agree with Mr. Leibold. That would be a priority of mine as well, with the talk at the State House of the reduction in revenues. However, the one thing that North Liberty has been missing for so long is that one thing that is uniquely us. What's the one thing in North Liberty that draws people here besides the safe, wonderful community to raise a family? We don't have that. We don't have a downtown district. We don't have that one draw. And I think that we have started down the path that will get us there with the development of Centennial Park and reaching out to our state and federal partners for grant funding to bring us what could be that one thing that we all will enjoy, that will bring in a lot of folks to our community to spend millions of dollars every year, and that will be Centennial Park's next stage, and I'm proud to be part of that.
Thank you. Next question. What is the future of public transit in North Liberty? And we will begin with Mr. Banza.
Years back, our city had a public transportation, and that program was shut down. But it's important to realize that that's the biggest challenge our city residents are facing. Many times, the families that I've served, they will have high chance of losing their jobs because they have no transportation to work. And when they lose their jobs, eventually they get evicted from their homes, and the next thing you know, they become homeless. Or if they drive without a license, they get stopped, then they could no longer operate. I believe the best way to serve our people at this point is to provide free public transportation, and that would be one way to help our business grow, our city's economy grow, and also provide for a better quality of life for our residents. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Park?
I know North Liberty has talked about public transit for a long time, and I do believe, eventually we will and should have a public transit system for our people. I do know that that's, there are fiscal restraints to that, and there needs to be a lot of studies, more study done, to justify that expense, now. I really believe that, we do need it, but also, we have to do it, at a time that, we'll be fiscally responsible, one that we're, prepared financially to do.
Mr. Smith?
Well, so I think this is where I may diverge specifically from Mr. Banza because I think that what we currently have is working. Our North Liberty, our NLTAP program, North Liberty Assistance, Transportation Assistance Program, is free to those that qualify, and it's an on-demand service. So folks can call from their home, a cab comes to their home, picks them up, takes them to the place they want to go. And we have tried the bus service. It has been very expensive, very costly, with a very low ridership. And I've talked to the folks who are using our NLTAP service. They don't want a bus service. Who would want to leave or be taken away from them an on-demand service that picks them up at their door, who then would have to go to a bus station, stand in the rain and the snow and the cold and the heat, to jump on a bus on the bus's schedule, not your schedule, then be taken blocks away from the actual place that you want to be. So NLTAP, I think, is where we need to stay.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Smith. Mr. Leibold?
Yeah, reliable transportation is an important part of any successful community. There's bus, bike, car, and pedestrian traffic, all considerations that need to be addressed when discussing solutions. I'm looking forward to reviewing all the options that meet both the current and future needs of residents and businesses. And then from there, best identifying what incremental approach and improvements can be made. But the incremental approach and improvements have to be both viable and efficient and aligned with the comprehensive plan. That would be a priority focus of mine. I think finding solutions that complement each other and connect neighborhoods and businesses with an intentional and well thought out approach are essential to the continued success of North Liberty.
Thank you. Next question, what is your approach to handling controversial and complicated issues? And we will begin with Mr. Park.
Controversial and complicated issues, I believe teamwork would be the best way to address any issue. I guess I don't separate controversial, for any particular reason. I believe an issue is an issue, and we should work together to find, the best solution to whatever issue that is. And I wouldn't be afraid of making tough, decisions or ones that may be controversial. I would just, get all the facts and get information, as much information as possible, and make the decision.
Thank you. Mr. Smith?
I think my current colleagues on council would say that this is a strength of mine. I do my homework. I do my research before coming into these chambers. I talk to North Liberty residents and business owners and get issues from both sides of whatever debate it might be. I ask many questions of city staff prior to coming into the council, one for making sure that we stay on time, but get my research in and understanding. Understanding the why behind the issue is very important. You need to know somebody's why, and I do that. I listen to public comment here in the chambers, and I also listen to my counselor colleagues. I don't come in with preconceived notions into these chambers. I listen to everyone. I take into account everyone's viewpoint, and then I make a vote. Understanding, and I take this very seriously, the vote that I cast up here is not my vote. It's the vote of those that elect me.
Thank you. Mr. Leibold?
Yeah, I think one of the most important first steps is simply acknowledge that a controversial or a complicated issue exists, right? We can't pretend that there aren't challenges that we're all faced with, no matter what your role is in the community, whether you're an individual, a family, a business, you're going to have complicated issues that come up. So acknowledging that, remaining open and having a true heart about what does a resolution look like. One of the best ways to do that is just by simply listening to the needs of others. I'm very proud of the fact that, I don't know it all. But taking that first step to acknowledge that a controversial or a complicated issue exists, and then listening to what another person's point of view, I think is important and integral step to getting towards resolution.
Thank you. Mr. Banza.
Thank you. I believe it's important to realize that we are here not to serve our own interest. We are here to serve the community. And many times when it's important to demonstrate your intent to serve the community by volunteering for programs, that comes into play because when you leave a certain area of work and you join a government entity that serves the people, there's that sense of realizing that you're not doing this for yourself, you're doing it for others, tend to run away. And it's important to realize that we don't do it for ourselves. We do this for the greater good of the entire community. And we have to learn to step out of the situation and be objective and see things from different perspective to serve the community. But in the short minutes I have left, I want to respond to Mr. Smith's comment. I think that transportation is something that can be handled properly. We have grants that we can get from the states that can help with.
Thank you, Mr. Benza. Next question. What previous community involvement have you had in North Liberty? And we will begin with Mr. Smith.
One of the unique perspectives that I bring to council that many don't know is as a firefighter, I was working shift. Our shift schedule was 24 hours on, 48 hours off. And so during that time, I spent a summer working as a laborer for the city of North Liberty. I worked for the North Liberty Parks Department. I mowed our parks. I built playgrounds. I threw a ton of mulch. And that gave me a perspective of those that work for the city before coming to council. I started as a volunteer firefighter in Coralville, and that gave me opportunities to work with our North Liberty firefighters at the time in the Johnson County Mutual Aid Association. I've worked as a Johnson County paramedic, serving the citizens of North Liberty. I volunteered as a coach in NLCBS here and love coaching baseball. I volunteered on the Liberty Lightning Baseball Club board, and I've helped. I was elected as the vice president of the Better Together 2030 board.
Thank you. Mr. Leibold.
Yeah, thank you. I'm very proud of my community involvement in North Liberty. Started as a youth baseball coach. I continued on. My son's a sophomore at Liberty now, and I volunteer in the off-season with the baseball team. Like Brent, I serve on the board of the Liberty Lightning Baseball Club and really get a passion out of that. Some of you may recognize me from being on the chain crew on Friday nights at Liberty High School, so I'm the down box guy. And one of the more recent developments has been rolling up my sleeves as part of a dance dad. My daughter goes to debut dance, and so volunteering in the community to help with props and sets and different things like that is very rewarding for me. One of the biggest things that I think we've made a significant impact in is addressing mental health, and that's through the Liberty Lightning Baseball Club, partnering with the Big O Foundation. And as a club, we were able to distribute over 5,000 lanyards and information on mental health throughout the city of North Liberty at a time when it's really needed, and bringing attention to it. I thought it was very impactful and well received throughout the community.
Thank you. Mr. Banza.
Thank you. I have served as a neighborhood ambassador for about 3 years now. Miss Jillian Miller, who initiated this program, recruited many people, and I was among the people that joined the team at the beginning, and I am still serving as that person. I've done great volunteer work in our community. I've founded a nonprofit organization that helps low-income families. When there's a storm, I I'm found out there helping families move the furnitures from their homes to another place. I've always been around assisting people in need. I think that's my nature. That's part of who I am, and it's really shaped by my personal life. I value myself in a way to provide hope for the future for others, and I think that that's the way it should be for everyone. We owe it to our neighbors and friends to provide them with a step forward, a way for them to realize that there is a chance for them to be better in the country. And that's what I've been doing for the past 10 years.
Thank you. Mr. Park.
I just finished up my presidency of the Iowa City Area Association of Realtors, which covers North Liberty, but also Iowa City and the surrounding communities. With that organization, we're very proud to help with projects like the 1105 project, helping feed people in need, homes for the holidays. I'm also the sponsor of Liberty Football. I enjoy taking my my money and putting it back into the community. And yeah, I very much just a second grade basketball coach. That was this year. That was my first experience doing that. And so I look forward to doing more volunteer work in North Liberty in the future. And I think being on the council will definitely give me opportunities to do that.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing your community involvement. So the next question is, where are your favorite places to spend time in our town? And we will begin with Mr. Leibold.
Wow. There's a lot of them. I think probably the two well, let's go with three. I mentioned my involvement with both the high school on the baseball and football team. So I would probably say that one of my favorite places is Liberty High School. And then just the commitment that dance brings out in my daughter is inspiring. So I don't mind spending time over there practicing to be a dance dad in our little 2-minute, once annual, dance that we get to do as dance dads. But I'm very excited about the development, the growth that are happening in places like Field Day and Tin Roost, and just continuing to support all of our local businesses as much as we can, I think is an important part on how we continue to strategically grow North Liberty and be a welcoming, inviting community. To Brent's earlier point, that's a destination for new families, for new businesses, and guests alike.
Thank you. Mr. Benza?
Thank you. It's a very good question. I have many places where I like to spend my time. First, I like to fix my cars at different mechanics here. I usually take it to local shops here with a RJ mechanic and different mechanics in town. I love playing golf at the Quail Creek golf course with friends and families. My kids love swimming at the swimming pool at the rec center, and then I take my kids to taekwondo classes over here in North Liberty. It's a great place, and usually on the weekend you'll see me at the park taking a walk with my children, my family, and riding bikes on the sidewalks. There's not a place. Everywhere is just a favorite place to be in North Liberty, and I love it because of that.
Thank you. Mr. Park?
I actually like spending a lot of time at home. I live near Penn Meadows Park, and I have a toy poodle named Cindy, and she gets me outside for walks every day. So I really enjoy, all of our trails and all those, opportunities are amazing around here for that. I do spend a lot of time out at Lake McBride. I have a secret spot out there. I would rather not share, but I do. I go out there and enjoy myself next to the water, and also just all of our restaurants around here are amazing. All of our events, Beat the Bitter, Blues and Barbecue, and like Brent touched on, Centennial Park. That next stage is going to be amazing, and I will definitely be spending a lot of my time out there in the future.
Thank you. Mr. Smith?
I'm so glad this question came up. Look at how much fun we're having with this question. Like the four of us are beaming, and that shows the passion that all four of us have for this place and why we're up here tonight. Picking favorites, I like sitting at Liberty Center Pond. It's beautiful there as the sun sets and the flowers are in the flower boxes and there's kids fishing. I like Penn Meadows. I've spent a lot of time at Penn Meadows Park playing baseball. Centennial Park, another favorite, wide open green spaces to run and play and have fun. Red Fern Dog Park, if you have not yet been out there, you don't have to have a dog to go. Go out, park in Red Fern Dog Park, and look at the leaves over our city right now. It's beautiful from up there. And I could not forget Colony Acres. On a brisk fall afternoon here in the falls, going out and eating some apples and letting the kids play in the corn maze is a lot of fun.
Thank you. We are at that point in the program where this is the final question. So what is the one issue we have not discussed this evening that you think is important for North Liberty? And we will begin with Mr. Banza.
There are plenty, I think, but the most important I want to bring up is how do we help our city businesses grow, and how do we better our economy? I want to be able to provide grants for startup costs for no business owners. I want to encourage friends and families and even youngsters to start businesses by giving them an opportunity to get grants to do so. I want to be able to listen to our businesses and see what's bugging them. And more importantly, I want to be able to make sure that our city is more diverse, that the city business owners are taking the pledge to treat everybody equally despite of their gender or national origin or ethnicity or race or sexual orientation. It's one of those things that if you have that, we have them pledged to that, and they display something of that nature on their door, it will show welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Banza. Mr. Park.
I would use this opportunity to, promote just even more community involvement. I know there are a lot of really smart and caring people in this community, and frankly, I would like to see even more people interested in running for, city council and getting on commissions, being involved, even if it's not in leadership or that, just looking for volunteer opportunities, in the community, and getting out and encouraging people to be together and to spend time. We have a diverse community, and I would love to see us, just the community to get even more involved than they already are.
Thank you. Mr. Smith.
We need to diversify our tax base. We need to take the tax pressure off of our citizens and our homeowners. And so we need new, viable businesses to help fund the fast growth that we have. I've worked with our city manager to have a direct impact on how we serve our businesses. In many ways, I asked staff to develop welcome packets for our businesses to set them on a path of success. And more importantly, I am pledging to create our city's first economic development corporation with current North Liberty businesses. And who better to lead us into the future than those that have been successful in bringing and growing their business right here in North Liberty? We are poised for explosive growth on the Forever Green Corridor with what I voted in favor of, the building of the hospital from the University of Iowa, and welcoming the Steinler Orthopedic campus. That corridor is about to explode, and I want to engage our current business owners and have them lead that through an economic development corporation.
Thank you, Mr. Leibold.
Yeah, I agree with a lot of what's set up here. I think one of them that we haven't talked about is retaining current Iowa residents and attracting a strong workforce to North Liberty. We have a healthy economy with room to grow. And businesses need employees throughout their organization, whether they're entry level or C-suite. And North Liberty can be that destination not only for the activities and the events that our community is focused on, but also a place where you can have that vision fulfilled. We can and should offer the resources, education, and strategy, and a path to accomplish this goal. For me, I'm living proof. I've never left the state of Iowa after graduating from college. But I know what Iowa, and in particular North Liberty has to offer, and we need to prioritize this effort. Together, as council and leader in the community, we can create a domino effect and really accomplish some really good things and some really cool things, and I'd be happy and confident to lead that effort.
Thank you. We will now move on to closing statements. Each candidate will have 2 minutes to make a closing statement, and we will begin with Brent Smith.
Again, I want to thank the Johnson County League of Women Voters for putting on tonight's debate. Thank you again, Pat Hayden, for moderating and for your continued leadership here in Johnson County. Thank you to our crowd for coming and engaging us in the process tonight. To close, I want this crowd to know how much I love our community. I see all the good that we are doing here on a daily basis. I hear the passion our residents have when they talk about North Liberty. I also hear the needs that some of our residents have and see opportunities for us as a city to better our services. I will be your voice on this council as I have been for the past 5 years. I never come to this chamber with a preconceived notion or set in the way I will vote. I do my research, I talk to citizens and business owners, I hear out my colleagues, and many times vote for or against things that I personally disagree with. My vote is your vote, and I take that responsibility very seriously. In my next term, I will prioritize the following: creation of the Economic Development Corporation. Number 2, I will continue to support our Centennial Park's Next Stage project that will bring millions of dollars to North Liberty every year. And 3, I will assure that public safety remains a priority for our city. We enjoy the safe, small-town feel here in North Liberty because of the dedicated work our women and men in the fire and police departments engage in every day. I want to thank my colleagues, Councilor Ashley Bermel and Councilor Rakesha Harrington, 2 of the most passionate and dedicated leaders that have served our community over the last few years. I am sad to see them leave our team. I have learned from you both and appreciate so much your support and endorsements for my re-election campaign. Don't just take my word for things tonight. Please ask them about me, my approach, and my voting record. Please join my Facebook page, B. Smith, 4 NL. Thank you all, and vote for the fireman, Brent Smith, on November 7th.
Thank you. Paul Park, your closing statement?
Thank you. Thank you again to the League of Women Voters for the opportunity to be here and talk about the opportunities, challenges, and vision we have for our great city. You are doing great work, and it's greatly appreciated. As a resident, business, and property owner in this city, I would also like to take the opportunity to thank our amazing city staff, our prior and current leadership, and my fellow North Libertarians. Your contributions have led to our city being an incredible place that we should all be so proud of. Together with open lines of communication and the input of the entirety of our community, we will continue to make great progress into the future. Please don't hesitate to reach out to me. You can follow me at Paul Park for City Council on Facebook or email me at citizensforpaulpark@gmail.com. And I would like to thank everyone for the support and encouragement, especially to Councilors Ashley Bermel, who joined us in the crowd today, Brent Smith, and Rakesha Harrington. Thank you. No matter what the future brings, one thing that I'm certain of is that we're better off together. Thank you for your time, and I'd be honored to have your vote on November 7th.
Thank you. Mike Banza, your closing statement?
Thank you very much for being here, and thanks for the League of Women for making this happen for all of us. I am Mike Banza, and have not just started today to run for office. My record should show you that I've tried to join this office for a long time. I have assisted as a volunteer for the Neighborhood Ambassador Program, and I have continued to be an active member of the community. I'm hoping to accomplish a lot. Please learn more on Mike4thepeople.com, Mike4thepeople.com. And without me on the council this year, our city council will lose its diversity completely. We will have all white and men in the council, which is not to say that we're not doing a great job, but I would like for us to also display what we call a diversity in our community as well. I have nothing but interest to serve the community, and you can certainly look me up and find out what I have done. Before I finish, I want to add one piece for transportation part. I won't let that go. That not everyone is eligible for the on-demand transportation in the city, and that is why I kept pounding on that, and hopefully to have the free public transportation in the city. Thank you very much, and I hope to have your support for the election coming up on November 7th. Thank you.
Thank you. Brian Leibold, your closing statement?
Yeah, thank you for the opportunity to share a little bit more about me. And again, thank you to the League of Women Voters for a great night. I'd also like to thank my wife, Tiffany, for her support, and Ashley for your support as well. We're sad to see you go. But before we go any further, I'd like to invite you again to share with me where your priorities are and what to consider from your perspective. I firmly believe it's important to listen and identify what areas make the most impact for you and your families, your business, or your interests and activities. I'm very proud to be a candidate for City Council and confident that my strengths will contribute to fulfilling your vision for North Liberty. I'm also humble and self-aware enough to lean into those with more experience and knowledge and contribute perspective, fill a particular role on the team, or assist where needed for a better and more intentional path to achieve the desired outcomes. I'm committed to a growth mindset and believe that dedication, hard work, good strategies, and input from others will contribute to the vision and execution of the goals we all have as members of this wonderful community. Values like family, being responsible and helpful, having fun, and the ability and willingness to have conversations and build relationships are of the utmost importance to me. The reasons I'm running are simply to enhance and accelerate the continued success of North Liberty, living out the vision of a safe, happy, and connected community, and demonstrating what being a servant leader really means. My commitment is to this community, to the individuals, families, businesses, and guests, and their goals so that they can fulfill their vision. I'd like to ask for your support to make it a reality. I'd like to encourage you to vote on or before November 7th and fill in the circle next to my name when you do, please. Thank you.
Well, thank you to our candidates, and I do understand what it's like to be in your seats, and I just want to extend congratulations to each and every one of you. Well done. I also want to thank those of you in attendance, those watching at home, and the North Liberty AV team for making this video cast and live streaming possible. Thank you to the City of North Liberty for providing the venue for tonight's forum. We would like to remind you that the views expressed in this forum are those of the candidates, and that sponsorship of the forum is not an endorsement of any candidate. More information about voting and the candidates can be found at vote411.org. Remember to vote in the election on or before Election Day, Tuesday, November 7th. Early voting is currently in process and continues through Monday, November 6th. And with that, good night to all.